Hey everybody, welcome back. Going to tackle vignette number 10 of The Case of the Golden Idol. This is chapter 4, The New Order, and then part 10 is called The Triumph of Order. Let's see what we can do here. I will say, before I get completely into this, what I have learned is that I'm best when I'm doing one case at a time, and this is not a game to be binged. I think that it promotes, at least personally, it's promoted mistakes that way. So this is the only one I'm going to be playing right now. Apparently, I already have 12 clues though, which is news to me. I have not clicked on this one yet, so we'll see. We'll see what's up here. Okay. This man is up breathing, no apparent wounds. Prince of dusk, light night, I am dark and full of terror. I do not fear love, do not make that error. When you know my name, just slip from my face. Alright. This is our old pal Nicholas Maker. It's a thing of beauty to see order prevail. If it were not against the first virtue, I would feel very happy. Yikes, what's up with these guys? Nicholas, I'll wager you feel the new regime rewards your diligence now. So tell me why I saw you spend more than 3 shillings on new clothes after I asked you to lend me money and you said you had none to spare. I suggest you lend me some now, unless you want me to write up an official report about a 4th virtue breach? Question mark? Your beloved brother. Kind of looks like a passport. Citizen, Mr. Nicholas Maker, birth year 1757, occupation record keeper of the Order Party, history of infraction and obedience, labeled a protocol as being on Thursday even though it was Wednesday, took a double-length lunch break in the office, loyal service in low-ranking position to the Order Party, plus 10 merit, total merit plus 4. So each of these, that means that an infraction is worth 3. If this was worth 10 merit and he's only got 4, that means that these infractions took out -6, divided between the two is -3. Unless they're of different values, but that doesn't seem to be the case just yet. So we'll just kind of make a note that these might be -3 each, and that might be useful. I mean, here's what I'm learning from this game. Anytime there's like a hint, like anytime there's a way to kind of reverse engineer how they got to a conclusion, it's useful to talk it out, because it's probably going to be useful when figuring out the whole thing. Weekly Order Party of People's Tribunal number 42. So this is like a French Revolution type situation, but like in England. Because they're having tribunals and they're making up all these rituals, and they seem to be, like, revolutionary. March 14th, 1795, 6 culprits are brought to the tribunal. 12 o'clock, tribunal is open. 12:15, each culprit's charges are evaluated and merit changes are calculated. First culprit's merit exaction starts at 3:10. 3:20, second culprit's merit exaction starts, and then 15:35 or 3:35, third culprit's merit exaction starts. I keep trying to say extraction. Remember the second virtue. Okay, so I'm definitely going to be figuring out what all these virtues are. Slovenliness, not like taking an extra break on the job. I mean, is that what he got? Remember the third virtue. Maybe excess? I think it's interesting that he's saying in this letter that went to Mr. Maker, that I saw you spend more than 3 shillings on new clothes after I asked you to lend me the money, and it's a 4th virtue breach, not a 3rd one. since it was about clothes and excess. Okay, poor bugger. I've never seen so much merit removed in the tribunal. Some mistakes are very costly. An Albion franc banknote. Mr. David Gorin, birth year 1752, enforcer of the Order Party, history of infraction and obedience, had a secret compartment in his office locker, denied the existence of the secret compartment, loyal service and low-ranking position to the Order Party plus 10 merit. So these do seem to have different value. Maybe based on which virtue they are in violation of. Interesting. I felt it in my bones that I should have drunk less. Now we poor souls experience God's wrath. So these are our guys who are facing merit exaction. Wonder if the idol is being used, because this guy looks rough, and that just may be because he got aged somehow. This might be related to several, when we first encountered the spell book for the idol. Edmund Cloudsley's note said something about the progression of the apple, and what we saw on the shelf was a nice apple, and then we saw a rotten apple. And so maybe there's an idol spell that enhances decay, and when we say exaction here, maybe that's what that refers to. Okay. This tribunal is a farce. They spread lies that my pure love is merely lust, and what do they even know about true art? Okay. So, okay, if it were, it's a thing of beauty to see order prevail. If it were not against the first virtue, I would feel very happy. So I think the first virtue is about emotion somehow, and love. Maybe. So that may have something to do with what this guy is saying. Such a relief that they decided not to push any fashion charges. I hope the process is not painful. I'm guessing maybe this is the fashion virtue. That is music to my ears, Alistair. But do control your emotions. We as arbiters of order must never violate the first virtue. So this, I think, goes to what we are learning about the first virtue, which is that it's about emotions. Okay, Dr. James Turner, 1747, arbiter of the Order Party, history of infraction and obedience. Drank a full bottle of brandy at a picnic. Kept the book Legacy of the Rose Dynasty in his study. Loyal service to the Order Party in a high-ranking position plus 20 merit. So there's a -8 and a plus 20 here. Dear Dr. Turner, I must regretfully inform you that during your absence for party business, your senior assistant Daniel has demonstrated an extreme untidiness and thus breached one of the virtues. Your senior assistant Daniel... I'm gonna quickly go back down here. Is that maybe what this is about? Untidiness? Goodness. Yeah, I mean, my first instinct is that this may be Walter Keane. What are you insinuating, James? I would never breach the fourth virtue. You know damn well that I keep no secrets. Maybe the fourth virtue is secrets. Who did we just look at who was keeping secrets? So these are secrets. Okay. Just sussing it out. A bunch of Albion franc banknotes. Dear Arbiter Coke, I am writing to inform you that our regiment's colonel was seen with another officer's wife in a potentially intimate situation. We implore you to send your agents to investigate this potential flouting of the first virtue. So the first virtue is about all emotions, including lust and love. Okay. Lord Alistair Coke, birth year 1745, Arbiter of the Order Party, history of infraction and obedience, slapped a sergeant in anger. Okay, so that's a violation of the first virtue. Listen to marching music in his manner. Okay. Loyal service to the Order Party in high-ranking position, plus 20 merit. So there's a difference of 9 here. So if that's the first virtue, maybe the virtues are hierarchical, and so like if the first virtue, if you violate the first virtue, then you lose more points than, say, if you violate the fifth virtue, if there is such a thing. Okay. I want to see what's out here first. Oh, okay. This is Lazarus. Silence. You will perform your function as much as is required. It is paramount to ensure order in our new society. I can't remember what this one is, but this is familiar. And this suggests that it has just been used. Because this is blue, and it's set to... This is a spell that would only work if this were red. So if this is the spell setting on the back, and this is blue, that means that the spell has already been cast and it needs to be recharged. 4 maxims of virtue. Remember, the second virtue. Store confiscated objects and evidence according to the virtue breached. Okay. This clue has been added to the thinking panel. Okay, yeah, this... We've figured out that virtue 1 is about love and lust, emotions. The third one has something to do with fashion. So what we got here? Brandy and opium in the red bin. Okay, red, white, yellow, black. So in the red bin we have brandy and opium. So these are things that make you unable to control your emotions, it would seem. So what's in the one with the wings? Invoice, Blackbrook Farm, 3 pounds of butter, 25 pence, delivery 6 pence, total cost 29 pence. Oh, okay, so hold on. Just so I'm keeping track of it. One of his infractions was a typo. So being sloppy is the second virtue, I think. Yeah, sloppy, slovenly. Okay. A violin. A gnome on a chamber pot. A portrait of Gideon Bell, painted by Jasmine Nightwings in 1794. So these appear to be amusements. Art and amusements. Fashion. Okay. And then what's the last one? A book titled Stories, a book titled Autumn Tales. Fourth virtue is secrets. Why would stories and tales, I guess maybe secrets and lies? So if it's just stories and autumn tales, then those aren't true. So not telling the truth, which includes everything David Gorin had done with like hiding stuff from the Order, but also like just writing things or keeping things that aren't true. In all truth, Lord High Arbiter, I would prefer storing no more than this. So March 13th, 1795, London Gazetteer. Since year 1792, when it gained a majority in Parliament and liberated our government from multi-party chaos, the Order Party has worked hard to improve society. Despite the vast popular support for the party, His Majesty refuses to acknowledge the authority of the party's tribunal. High Arbiter Lazarus Hurst has announced that, in 2 months, the party and its supporters will participate in a peaceful march to the king's current residence to demonstrate their virtue of moderation. Maybe that's what the, like, moderating your emotions, maybe that's the first virtue. I am honored to help the party upkeep the 4 virtues. I only hope sitting here all day does not count as sloth. Yeah, I think that's the second virtue, where that covers everything from typos to, you know, not keeping a tidy desk. There are worse jobs than this one, and thank God tobacco is not considered an indulgence. Maybe these are indulgences? A bit boring, though. Too bad literature is forbidden. He looks like Lil Pip. Got a locked thing over here. Okay. Fingor Quinn. Birth year 1760. Charges. Claimed he had no wife. Has a painting depicting a naked person in his house. Broke his wife's favorite teapot in anger. Was observed spending a night with the neighbor's wife. Okay. Walter Keane. Charges. Flirted 3 times with different married women during the party convention. Wore ridiculous headgear at 5 public events. Claimed he had not betrayed High Arbiter Lazarus during his ritual of ascendance. Expelled from the Party of Order. Okay, so he was expelled. If these are the what covers the people who are down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lothar Richards held a dinner party a few years ago where he offered large amounts of wine to his guests, got angry during the questioning and shouted at High Arbiter, revealed the whereabouts of his hiding fugitive dissident daughter Mary and her husband Peter, evaluated as plus 15 merit. Okay, so several vignettes ago, Lothar Richards is Mary's father. Mary was one of the dinner guests. Peter Batley, I think. Peter Batley, is apparently now her husband. I don't know how many years ago that was, that dinner party. Okay. A lock of hair. The hats. The painting. Okay, so Jen, from Josh Bailey, left his work at Tannery early, drank excessive amounts of gin at the Scrawny Cat, drank excessive amounts of rum at the Old Oak, approached a married woman with an indecent offer, denied 4 times during questioning that he had done these acts. Okay. Horace Webb. Charges. He has not held down a job since the new regime, evaluated as 60 instances of non-work. Claims he works in his castle, helping his servants clean it. Possesses 15 books kept in his private library. Expressed willingness to donate his castle to the party, evaluated as 200 merit. Okay, and then Duke Gideon Bell. Wears an outrageous hairstyle, broke down in tears 10 times during the questioning, has refused to start working, evaluated at 5 instances of job skipping, rejected the High Arbiter's request that he share information of a secret interest to the castle of his cousin, the Sovereign. Okay. It doesn't seem that Gideon is here. What do they know about true art? Okay, so I think that he's Fangor Quinn. And then what's his deal? Not to push any fashion charges. I hope the process is not painful. Maybe Horus? But that's me bringing in too much. This process of elimination. I felt it in my bones that I should have drunk less. Now we poor souls experience God's wrath. Okay, so he's definitely the one that drank too much. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, goodness. Okay. The second virtue is moderation. No. Yes. Ooh. First virtue is excessive. Okay, so it's excessive emotions. Fourth virtue is truth. First virtue is... No, the first virtue is moderation. We kind of... Excessive emotions. Lust. And... mistakes. Untidiness. All lies. Vulgar art. Secrets. Sloth here. Second virtue is vulgar fashion, literature, March 13th, 1795. Since 1792, when it gained, so this is years. So it's been 3 years. Double check here. 1795, 1792. So yes, that's 3 years. During a tribunal, blank is judged to have the largest deduction in all tribunal history. To execute his punishment, blank was used on him and he lost years and died, I think. But I'm not sure how many years he lost. Okay. Oh, music. Where does music go? So, because books are here, it's literature. Art, fashion, and music. So what do we call the third virtue? This is the fourth virtue, and this is the... I'm wondering if this is actually alcohol. Let's look at Josh Bailey's. Josh Bailey received negative. Okay. Josh Bailey's in the negative for sure, but indulgence of alcohol. Excessive indulgence. Second virtue is diligence, obviously. Okay. The third virtue is beauty. Okay. All right. That felt good. Okay. So, all right. Now we have to really get into what these virtues actually cost. Or what violations of the virtues actually cost. And we're not going to learn it from here just yet. We'll have to do the math on that. Okay, plus 20 merit. So 9 between the two. Eight between these two. Okay, let's go see this guy, because these two secrets, they have to be worth the same, judging by this system. And loyal service in low ranking position is 10 with a net of 8, which means 2 split between these two, which is 1 and 1. So we know, firstly, that this is worth 1. Okay. What about here? Okay, this is another one where both of these are under the second virtue because he made mistakes and he was slovenly when he took a double lunch break. So they're worth 3 each. So the second virtue is worth 3. Okay, okay. Really making some progress here. Okay, so this is a secret, and this is an indulgence. So 8 between the two, and we know that keeping a secret is -1. So indulging, so that's 8. 8 minus 1 is 7, so drinking a full body of brandy at a picnic would be 7. Let's double check that with this fella here. Slapped a sergeant in anger. Okay, so he's got -9. Music would be under this. So 9 minus 7 would be 2. And so is this 2? Is there any way to double check that? I think this is the double checking. Okay, great. Whew, okay. Actually, this is pretty fun. So, Fingor Quinn received how many? Okay, Josh Bailey received negative merit. So, let's look at Josh Bailey's little portfolio here. Okay, so this is the second virtue, 1 second virtue, drank excessively. These are both first virtues. Approached a married woman with an indecent offer. This is lust. And so that would be also indulgence and emotion. And denied 4 times during questioning that he had done these acts. So that is a lie, which would be this one. Now, here's the question. Denying it 4 times, does he get a separate point for each infraction? I'm guessing so. So 1, 2, 3 excesses. So 21. 21 plus a diligence infraction would be plus 3. So 24. And then another 4 would be 28. Okay, let's try it with our Richards. Had a dinner party a few years ago where he offered large amounts of wine to his guests. That's an indulgence. Got angry during the questioning and shouted at the High Arbiter. So that's two first virtue infractions, which is 14. And then revealed the whereabouts of his daughter. So he ended up with, so plus 15. 14, 15 minus 14 would be plus 1. Okay. So so when it said that he had committed that he had lied 4 times, that's what got him to got another 4 points, not just 1 point. So let's look at Horace Webb. Okay, 15 books would be 15 points. Claims he works in his castle, helping his servants clean it. Claims. So is he lying? Has not held a job since the new regime. Evaluated as 60 instances of non-work, which would be 60 times 3. So 180 plus 15, which is 195. And then if he's lying about helping his servants, so 180, 195, 196. Expressed willingness to donate his castle to the party, evaluated as 200 merit, so he would end up with plus 6. Okay. Gideon wears an outrageous hairstyle. Okay, so the hint we got here is that his portrait is in here, so maybe it's a third. It qualifies as a third one. Yeah, because of fashion. So, fashion 2. 10 times of the emotion, so 70. Has refused to start working. 5 times 3, 15. 15 plus 70 is 85. 85 plus 3, or excuse me, 85 plus 2 for his bad hairdo would be 87. Rejected the High Arbiter's request that he share information of a secret entrance. So that's a secret. So that'd be -1. So recounting. Where's an outrageous hairstyle? Is 2. 10 times 7 is 70, so 72. 5 times 3 is 15. 72 plus 15 is 87. And then 87 plus 1 for a secret. Did I say 87 plus 1? Would be 88. Let me double check that. I should have just had a pen out to do this instead of doing it in my head, because this is classic math in my head stuff. Okay. Outrageous hairstyle is -2, then -70, then -5 times 3 is 15, and then -1. So 2 plus 5, 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. 88. Yep. Okay. So I'm guessing Gideon's dead too. Ooh, shoot. What'd I mess up here? Was it Horace? Has not held down a job. So he's slovenly. So that's 60 times 3, which is 180. Possesses 15 books. That's 15 points. So he's at 195. He has 200 given to him. So what does this count as? It's about work, but it's the claims. What he claims to do. Oh, okay. So, let's say it is +1. That would be 196, so it's +4. Not +6. That was a math error. Yeah, okay. Whoops. Okay, Fangor Quinn. Moving right along here. Claimed he had no wife, so that's a lie. -1. Has a painting depicting a naked person in his house. That's an art infraction, which is -2. Broke his wife's favorite teapot in anger. That's a -7 for emotion. Was observed spending a night with the neighbor's wife, which is lust, and a -7. So that's -14 plus 2 is -16 -17. Okay. And what did Walter Keene get? Flirted 3 times with 3 different married women during the party convention. That's lust, which is 7, so -21. Wore ridiculous headgear at 5 public events, so that's fashion. So -10. 5 times 2. Claimed he had not betrayed High Arbiter Lazarus during his ritual of ascendance, which is a lie, -1. So 2 Minus 32. Okay. Very good. 3 years have passed since Order Party has ceased power. During a tribunal, blank is judged to have the largest merit deduction in all tribunal history. To execute his punishment, blank was used on him and he lost however many years and died. Well, okay, so when I was first looking at him, I was like, oh, that kind of looks like Walter Keane. But he was expelled from the party. It didn't say he was executed. Let's look at that coat. No. I mean, if it's the largest infraction in history, then it's got to be Gideon, actually. To execute his punishment, blank was used on him, and he lost however many years and died. The idol, it would seem. But how do I know how many years he lost? So is it that it takes away however many years they have? Okay, yeah, and this also... This is a progression. If I'm remembering correctly, this is to progress matter's age, basically. I mean, would I assume that it was 88 years that was taken from him? Merit changes are calculated. Merit exaction, merit exaction, merit exaction. Aha! Yeah, so that was the last assumption, but I think it was fair enough to say, yeah, obviously that's what the virtue points end up being, is translated into years. So the Order Party has ceased power and now enforces the 4 maxims of virtue. The young Duke, Gideon Bell, was judged during the tribunal to have lost 18 merits. The High Arbiter of the party, Lazarus Hirsch, used the idol to decrease Gideon's youth by 88 years, thus making him 108, which resulted in his death. Yikes. Okay, so we only have one left, at least at present, as far as I can tell. Yeah, and I'm gonna follow my own advice and not try to do these more than one at a time. But that one was actually, I really enjoyed this one because of all of the different aspects of. I really enjoyed like the different kind of logic puzzles that were happening here, and like that I got to categorize. Like once I learned the system, I got to categorize them. So, yeah, no, that was pretty cool. All right, great. That's it for this time, and I'll catch you the next time around.